Thanks to Day by Day, Kumewu in the Ashanti region is a forest-rich, mountainous area. This is where you will find Nframabuom. You can be forgiven if this is your first time hearing of this place, but I can assure you, after today, you will never forget it. Nframabuom has a captivating history. For 3 centuries, their ancestors lived in caves. And those caves are still there, waiting for you and I to discover them. And that's exactly what we're going to do today on Joy Prime Explore. We got very lucky at the very beginning when the Apejahene of Kwamang himself agreed to take us on a guided tour. He pulled on his Wellington boots and led us deep into the forest. So Nana, tell us about this place.
Yeah, here it's called Nframabuom, but it's annex, Nframabuom Annex. Nframabuom Annex. Yeah.
Okay.
During the olden days, you know, there were a lot of tribal wars.
Yeah.
And our ancestors moved away from a certain town called Amoakon. And then that is Ochilkrum, Amoakon in Ochilkrum.
Okay.
And then came to settle at a place called Sumuna Kesieso. Sumuna Kesieso. When we talk of Sumuna Kesie, that is, you know, the elephant.
Elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it steps somewhere, it creates a big hole.
Yeah.
So we say Asumuna Kesie. But
elephant hole.
Oh yeah, elephant hole. So in the modern times, we said we have modernized it to be Sumuna Kesie, but it's Asumuna, Asunu Amuna Kesie. Yeah, right. That is the footprint of the elephant. When it steps a place, it creates a big hole there. So that is why we decided to call the place Asumuna Kesie. Asumuna Kesie. So.
Suddenly, the clear path we had been walking on disappeared over a steep edge. This is where most people would turn back, believing they can go no further. We certainly would have, if we didn't have Nana with us. But over 4 centuries ago, when Kabie the hunter got here, he decided to keep going. And that's how he discovered the famous Nframabuom, the Windy Cave.
So during those days, you know, because of the wars, tribal wars, our ancestors had to find a place where they could get themselves saved. So it was one night a hunter within our ancestors decided to go on an expedition, hunting expedition.
Right.
So fortunately, when he came down this way, he detected this cave, thinking there were animals in it, so that he could make a good hunt there. He entered the place and realized it was a safe place for people to live. Yeah. So he passed the night there. So the next day he came to the town and got the chief informed about what he had seen.
Right.
Then the chief decided that, okay, then they should come. The linguist and other people should follow him and then come to look at the place if it will be convenient for them to come and then stay.
Right.
So they decided to, they came and inspected the place and then went back to report to the chief that the place was safe for them. So when they came and inspected the place, they realized it was a nice place where people could live.
Right.
So they went back and then got the chief informed about what they had come to see. You know, during those times, the people were not many. So the chief decided to move his people to this place to settle, so that enemies could not attack them. So when they came here, they realized it was okay for them because we have a small stream inside the cave where they could get water. And then nearby, you know, it's a forest area, so they could farm here. So they decided to stay till after the end of the tribal wars. Then we moved to settle at our present place called Kwamai.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So the people of Kwamai are the original Sumuna
yes, people there.
Right.
Yeah.
And you sought refuge here during the war?
Yes.
For how long were you in the caves?
They stayed here for about 300 years. Yes,
Wow.
yes. They stayed here for about 300 years.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So inside the caves, will we find evidence of their habitation in the family?
Oh, it's unfortunate. That place is not. It's always wet inside. So they everything. But we have bats. We have bats inside. So they were living with the bats.
Huh.
Small bats, which were not harmful. They are not harmful. Still, they are still there.
Not harmful, but were they tasty?
Oh, they never chopped them.
They never ate them?
Yeah.
Oh. Now, first of all, before we go in, tell us how far and deep do these caves go?
Oh, actually, it's not very far, but roughly, well, I can't give you the estimate, but it's just a short distance within it. When we enter, you could determine it yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there another exit, or
No,
this is the only entrance?
This is the only entrance. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to go inside.
Oh yeah.
Let's
So
check it
let
out.
us before we get inside, we have to pour libation because we have to remember our ancestors.
Yes.
Yeah, whenever we come.
I
to
leave
visit.
that part
Yes.
to you.
Yeah. Nyame nsa, asase nsa, abusumni asa nyansa, aduanafo nsa manfo nsa, agorofo nsa manfo nsa. Enye boni bi. Na na chiri nsa o, na beye nsa, na brichum nsa. Enye boni bi. Ewie ye ho na enya ahoho. A ombehwe buo yi mu. Omo free Joy FM. Eja, ebuo ye di ho akoniaba. De bia e bom paye. Se enya adomfo, omedum yen. Entimi mesi dai wo soro ha. Ne emetra ha. Na ahanya krabehwe. Enya sika mfrim. Entimi fasi esi oman. Ene omabawo. Ewura mu ache. Mmaje nsan no. Nipa boni ni bi e ka no nko. Ni be wura buo mu. Obeka se yenka mu de. Obi ntonsa enhira no busue ni. Muma no kokomo so. Emo no so awie kete e hye nyina yenkwa so.
Pia. The first thing I noticed was that the caves are not exactly windy. Actually, it's boiling hot in here. I was sweating buckets. The second thing I noticed, bats! Bats? Yeah. Wow. So Nana, this looks like the main chamber, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the first hall. This is where the chief and his people used to have their meetings. So we assume that this is the meeting hall.
I see.
Yeah, this is the conference hall.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's It's not that big. How many people were in the tribe at the time they were living here for over 300 years?
You know, actually, I told you initially, I said, during those days, the people were not many. You see. So they were about, roughly, 40 to 45 people who were living here. Yeah. Because we have the bigger apartment there where they used to pass the night. And
So
then
there are apartments?
Yes.
Wow.
So
Show us around.
this-
But first of all, though, I've noticed some candles.
Yeah. This is, it's the Christians. Normally, some of the Christians come here to pray. They stay here for weeks and then do their fasting and prayers.
Today, this happens today?
Today, yeah. Currently,
Wow.
yes.
And they have permission from...
Yeah, the chief.
The gods?
Yes, the gods. Actually, we don't have gods here.
Okay.
But, you know, we have the ancestors. We assume that the spirits of our ancestors are still living with us. So when we come here, that is why we normally pour libation when we are around. Just to invoke their spirits so that they will guide us as we move around.
So how do the Christians get over that hurdle? Do they also have to pour libation?
No, the Christians don't have to pour libation, but we demand a drink from them. So when they leave, then we have to decide.
And do that for them?
Yeah.
I see. And they do that to this day? They still come here?
They still come here, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like you see, that is why we have the candles there. Recently, some were here. You see.
Have you realized how Christians love dark corners? We should start charging the churches a special rate for accessing such places for their activities. If we play our cards right, there could be a whole sub-industry of Christian tourism.
Well, the pastor will sit on it and then do whatever he wants to do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I see many chambers around us.
Yeah.
So walk us
So
around.
we're going this way. This is the first part we've taken.
After seeing all this filth, I was even more convinced that these Christian groups ought to pay for the use of these sacred spaces. We could call it the sea levy. Oh boy. It's a disadvantage to be tall. Amazing. Why is there so much water?
It's the stream which is within it.
There's a stream.
Yeah, this is the stream, you know.
I see.
Yeah. That is the source of the stream.
Oh. Wow.
You know, look at what the Christians come to do. They filter the place with all these empty bottles. I don't know why.
The Christians?
Yes. Look.
Nana, these don't look like Christian bottles at all.
No, these are, yeah, you know, sometimes these fetish priests also come in. Yeah, that is why we see these bottles there. Because we know the fetishists, when they come, they have to pour libation as we've done. And after they've done it, after they've completed their work, then they leave the bottles there.
It looks like we can't leave out the traditionalists either. Tea levy, anyone? So, is there anybody responsible for keeping this place clean?
Actually, first of all, we had somebody who used to do that, but he's no more existing. And this time we are planning to get somebody to come and even live near here so that he could, yeah.
And this particular chamber was for what? For sleeping?
For sleeping, yeah. This particular chamber was for sleeping.
How many years ago did your people finally move out of here to settle?
Oh, okay. Actually, I can't give you the exact time, but within that 300 years, within that period, it was there that they moved from here. Yeah.
So I'm trying to place it in history.
Yeah.
They were here for about 300 years.
Yes. Yeah.
And then after that they moved out. But at the time they moved out,
Yeah.
what was happening in Ghana? Which stage of our history were we at that time? Do you have any idea?
Okay, you know, during those days, we were under the rule of these white men.
So it was during colonial times?
Yeah, it was during colonial times that they moved from here.
Interesting.
This place, yes, this place is so low that we could make our way through to the other end through this side, but it's so low that you have to put your bare hands on the floor
to crawl.
Yeah.
I see. And what was this place for?
Oh, this place, in fact, you know, sometimes people also come to relax here when they were here.
I see.
It could also serve as part of the sleeping place.
So these bats, these bats have lived here for hundreds of years?
Yes.
Are they dangerous?
No, not at all. You see, they only move out during the night to find food. And then when it's getting to the morning, they return and then come to stay back.
I see. So this is the crawl space you were talking about?
Yeah.
I see. So people would crawl under this and it would lead to another chamber?
Yeah.
Wow. So I suppose if there was danger, they have somewhere to run to. Interesting.
Baby and Kaya crawl, Hannah gave you. Yeah. So Hannah, how about no hapa?
They'll have candles, I'm sure. Wow. Back in the day, there were no flashlights.
Yes.
How were your people able to find their way through these caves?
You know, within the Ashanti traditional area, we have what we call this tani.
Right.
Yes, that is you know, the branches of palm tree, the dried ones. They tie them up in bundles and then light it. They use that as their lights.
Wow.
Yes.
I see. Well, there's a breeze.
Yes.
It seems there's oxygen flowing through here quite freely.
Yes.
Where is it coming from?
Well,
I think there are
yeah.
some holes.
Yeah, that is what we assume, but we don't know. Actually, we can't determine where it comes from.
Wow. So have any, government officials come to, I want to see those bats close up. Yeah. Have any officials come to identify the species of these bats?
Oh, yeah. Well, government officials have never come here, but we have students from UST. They normally come here. And even at the moment, we have 2 guys who are studying these bats. So they come here during the night.
Wow. That's a job I'd rather not do. Amazing.
So we come back to the first apartment. But you see there, I say very, very careful.
This really is quite an adventure, but it ought to come with a warning. People with back problems will not enjoy this. I really am blown away by the idea of an entire community surviving in this cavernous subterranean space for 300 years. How did they do it? Where did they get water? Well, as it turned out, the answer was just next door. So, what is this?
This is where they used to take
This is
the water they used to drink.
this is their drinking water.
Yeah.
So it's a stream that runs through the caves.
Yes.
How clean is the water?
Well, you know, once we see it like this, we think it's okay. So we just take it.
Wow. What are those? Are those eggs?
Yes. I don't know who came to place these eggs there. And what's the purpose of doing that, we can't tell.
Normally, what are these eggs used for?
Okay. You know, according to the Persian priest, they use it as some symbols for their prayers.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think maybe somebody was trying to curse somebody?
Probably. It was some personal issues that he placed those things there. But I don't think it's a curse. Maybe when you want to curse somebody, you have to split it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Nana, apart from the bats, what other wildlife is in this area that you are aware of?
Oh, well, we are aware of these grass cutters and then antelopes.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Do you sight them often?
And sometimes we see deer. I
see.
Yeah, also around. And
Wow.
when it's getting closer to the night, when you come around, they sometimes come here to drink water.
Oh, so you've seen them before, just drinking?
Yeah.
That would be beautiful.
But the moment they see you,
they run.
Yeah.
Do you have snakes?
Yeah. It's rare, but sometimes we come to meet some of the snakes inside.
Oh, that must be.
And they are not harmful too. But when you see them, they even try to hide themselves from you. Yeah.
Wow. Why is there a leaf over there?
Those leaves.
No, the one that the water is pouring over.
So that we could get it calm and bulk.
So somebody deliberately placed it there. So Nana, this water has been flowing like this for over 300 years.
Yes, actually.
And it's still the same.
It's still the
Have you been able to trace the source?
Well, we have just identified that the source comes from the inner part of the cave. So that is the main source of it.
Right.
Yeah. But we've never identified that it comes from other source from outside. No. It's within the cave.
From somewhere in the ground.
Yeah. That is why we've decided that we need somebody. At least we need people who could come to help us so that we develop the place very well. And then make sure the history is reserved for even the younger generations to be able to tell whenever somebody comes in to have a look at the place. Yeah.
Do you pass on this history, in the King's Court?
Yeah.
Information
Sometimes we gather the youth and tell them something about it. So most of the people in town have this history in their minds.
So if I drove into town today and I just met anybody and asked them about this place, would they be able to tell me?
Not everybody. If you are fortunate to meet one of those who have been educated about this, then he'll be able to tell you. Even most people in town don't know this place. Most people don't know this place. Yeah, they've heard about it, but some of them have visited this place, but others haven't. Yes.
So if we want to harness the tourism potential here, what's the structure? If somebody wants to come here, what must they do?
Oh, well, the first thing we have to be able to do is that we have to put a structure by the roadside. So that we have some people there. They will be there as guides. So that when you come, it is those people there who are going to educate you about this place. And once we don't have a lot of people coming here, we find it very difficult to get people to stay there, because how are we going to pay them? It's not every day that people come to visit this place. They come, sometimes they'll be here at certain times. Even about 3 months, you will not get anybody apart from the Christian. That's all.
So what you're saying is that it needs investment.
Yes.
You need to set it up and then advertise.
Yes.
And then you start seeing people here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Normally, those people who come here frequently are the whites, especially those from Germany. They have a book about this cave.
Really?
Yes. That is some Ghanaian wrote a book that is tourism, about tourism, and this place has been captured in the book. So they read about it and then come all the way from Accra to this place to have a look at the cave.
And it's particularly Germans that
Germans, a lot of them.
It's fascinating that so much of a people's history, 300 years of their lives, could have occurred there, with most of them bent over double for the entirety of their lives as they hid from their enemies successfully, because obviously the people survived now to create the community of Kwaman. But these caves are quite an experience. Just being in them makes you feel like you've traveled through time to a period when technology did not exist. Everything electronic that we had felt alien in there. It's a feeling that many people would pay a fortune to experience, because the world is now so completely automated. So if you want to really get back in touch with nature, I recommend these caves. It's a trip through time, and that's priceless. One thing this show has taught me is that everywhere in this country there are beautiful tourist attractions right next to impoverished communities that know very little about the history or value of these attractions. Is Sechere Kwamang any different? Is the community harnessing the massive potential of these caves to bring prosperity and wealth to their citizens? This episode of Joy Prime Explore was brought to you thanks to Day by Day,